Hello, my friends. Welcome into, I think this is day 7, somewhere in there, 6, 7. Those of you that have littles might understand that reference. But hello, welcome back. It's Jen Bach with Craft What Matters, and we are working our way through the catalog, the new May through August catalog that Stampin' Up! Released on Cinco de Mayo this month. And today I'm actually going to feature a paper pack just because I love it so much, and there's so much you can do with a good black and white paper, and we have a fantastic one in the new catalog. I may end up doing another video with some additional paper features, but today we're just going to feature one because I went crazy and played a lot with it. You'll get a little sneak peek of the in colors as well. That is also coming. So the last 2 videos we have, I believe, are going to be some DSP spotlight and then the in color collection. And that will also, I'll chat a little bit about my in color club and timing and pricing and all of that when that happens. That is coming. I don't have all the numbers fixed yet, but I'm working on that, and that is coming in either tomorrow or Friday's video. So let's go ahead and get started with today's. Let me turn this around. We'll take a peek at what we're looking at today. So we're actually going to look at this paper right here. So I love that the new catalog went back to showcasing the paper kind of in the traditional way, so we can kind of see all the papers at a glance, right? But then there's also like the pages where the suites are shown, and you get more of that paper as well. So like for instance, for the Velvet Meadow, we see a little bit here and of course all here, but then it's also pictured here. So it's nice that you have like that cross-reference in the catalog. So let's go ahead and take a peek at this paper. I am a sucker for black and white paper. I love a good black and white with a pop of color. I love a good black and white card. So this paper here just begged me to fussy cut it. You can see I fussy cut a lot of different stuff out of there, and I'll show you some of the cards that I came up with that. But that's one sheet, and then the back side is just like a white and black paisley. Then we've got this all over pattern here, and then the back side is a fun polka dot. We've got these little leaves, and then the back side is a more chunky flower. Perfect for fussy cutting. This is kind of an all over rose pattern, and the back is a black with a white flower accent. And then we already saw that one. This one is kind of a little bouquet, and then the back side is a fun stripe. I love a good stripe and a polka dot. And then this one is the last design, is just kind of, again, little bouquets. And then the back side is a black pattern with white accents. So that is, this paper is called the Artisan Sketched Garden Designer Series paper. And it's just really fun to play with. So let me show you before, usually I wait till the end, but let me show you a couple of the projects that I made in advance. So this one is just a monochromatic black and white card. I used the embossing folder from the Valley and Bloom suite collection, and just kind of offset it a little bit so you saw more of the flower than that big bloom that's in the middle. And then you just have polka dots and stripes, which I love together, and simple fussy cut from the paper. So that one was that. This one, so there's so many techniques you can do with pattern paper. So of course I colored in the vase from that stamp set. And then this one, it's hard to tell because it's a very light color, but I colored or blended the background of this one. So you can see the white versus this color. It's like the Barely Blush is the color I used, which is a new ink color. And I just inked it on with a blending brush to kind of match that base color and give it a little bit of pop. And then I used also in most of these, or in some of these, I used the Stampin', nope, the Scalloped Blooms bundle. So you can see here I used one of the circles down behind, and then the sentiment came from that as well. So did this one. So I've been using, kind of pairing that bundle with this paper, which we saw it earlier in the week too. Here's another one, another sneak peek of a new ink color. This is Peaceful Pine. And again, I colored the element right from the paper, used some of the new Peaceful Pine ribbon, and then a I used a circle from the scallop blooms and the sentiment as well. Super simple, really easy. This one's a really easy layout to recreate, so that's a good one to keep in mind. This one, I actually did some blending with different colors. So these three colors are one of my favorite three colors to pull together. It's Flirty Flamingo, Summer Splash, which you could use Coastal Cabana as well because Summer Splash is disappearing, and then Garden Green, or not Garden Green, Granny Apple Green. So it's just really fun, bright pop of color, and I love blending those together. They're just fun and summery and springy, so love that. And then just kept the sentiment really simple with a little twirl of black twine, and then the sentiment with a little bit of those are the embellishments from the suite we did yesterday, the Velvet Meadow. So super easy to kind of reuse and repurpose a lot of the embellishments, right? So this one I really, really love. So this is actually me coloring the background, so the negative area. And so it just makes those flowers really pop. This is a super simple layout. So you could color a full 12 by 12 sheet and then cut this down. This is 3 by 4. So then you could get a bunch of different cards out of this one pattern, right? So it's just 3 by 4, and you could cut them in advance, right? Because if it's 3 by 4, you're gonna get 3, right? 3, 6, 9, 12. So 4 across, 3 down. So 4 times 3 is 12. So you'd get 12 pieces out of the paper. So you could cut them in advance and then color them different colors, and then get a variety of patterns or looks based on the color that you color the background with. But I just love that. And then I just used the iridescent pearls as the centers of the flowers for a little bit of pop. But otherwise it's really super simple, right? So you could cut, you could get 12 of these backgrounds from the 2 sheets using that polka dot paper. And then, like I said, just cut the paper 3 by 4 in advance, and then you could color the backgrounds different colors and get different looks based on what color you paired the card base and the black with. So super easy way to kind of recreate some fun looks. All right, so I have, this is Hydrangea Hue, which is the same color as I just showed you. This is one of the new in colors as well. And I have this little fussy cut piece colored. I already did. And I'm going to kind of assemble a card here for you using some bits and pieces that were left over. So I kind of have a little bit of an idea of what I'd like to do. So let me just tape this down. This is just a 5.5 by like 1 inch, maybe a little bigger than 1 inch. And I'm just going to layer that on top of it. Oh, I could use that side too, but I'm going to use flour on the other side. So we'll tape this down if I can get it straight. There we go. Okay. And then I might actually, I'm trying to decide, I may actually color, because I'm thinking I'll do this, right? And then do that on top with a little sentiment here. I'm going to actually stamp the sentiment. I'm going to do thank you for being there for me. So I'm going to use a black ink, and I'm going to stamp that over here. So let's do that part. So I'm going to go all the way over to the edge here as best I can. Okay, thank you for being there for me. And that way I can fit the little flower here, right? It's a little crooked, kind of like that. So let me actually just put a little bit of adhesive down on this to keep it stuck. We want to make sure the sentiment stays straight and the flowers stay straight. So there we go. I might actually put a little mini dimensional here to keep that popped up. And then I'll use regular dimensionals on the rest. But before I get to that part, we're not going to attach this down yet, because I need to decide if I want to keep this black and white, if that's enough pop, or if I want to add, I'm almost tempted to add color to the background of this one again. Maybe we use a different color just to make it pop a little bit more. I'm just thinking, because see, like it would be like this, but is that going to blend too much? What if I did like the red or the green? Or maybe the blush. Let's see. Trying to think. Ooh, that would kind of pop. That would look nice. Maybe I'll do the background in the pink. Let me grab that. Hang on one second. Okay, so I have the light and dark Barely Blush. So I think I'm just going to use the light. And basically what you want to do is you're going to, like, I find it's easiest to kind of outline these flowers first, so that you have like a border to keep you in line, so to say. So I'm just going to kind of create a little border. And I try not to get too far away before I start coloring it in, because the color does seem to change, but it dries kind of all the same color. It just might look a little bit of a different shade at first. I did the whole thing outlined with the first one, and it ended up looking fine. So it just, when I was coloring, I was like, oh, that looks darker than the original, but it dries kind of the same. So this is going to be nice and light, which I think is important for this one because we don't want it to look too busy. So I'm going to just kind of go in here and do just a little bit of coloring. And then I'll go back and fill in this part. This is a really light color. It is kind of picking up a little bit of the black, but I think it's going to be fine. Okay. You could kind of color off first too when you go over these black elements, but I'm not really worried about it. I think in the grand scheme of things, we're not going to really notice. So then we're just going to keep going. And I'm doing this rather quickly. Very aware of the fact that you're watching. So I'm just going to color in between these. So that's kind of the trick. You want to make sure you get all the holes with the color. So it really makes those flowers pop. Just going to color right over that. And then we'll do this. We're getting there, my friends. Sorry, I didn't realize this was going to be my plan, or I might have colored this in advance for you. But it kind of just came upon me. Alright, so I just loved the look of the last one, so I think this will look just as nice. And I could actually use, I like to use the bullet tip when I'm outlining, but I could use the brush tip in these bigger open space areas, but I'm being lazy. Okay. All right. This color is like super light. Okay, we're just about done here. Color in this last little part, and then we just need these little openings here. And that's a flower. Okay, perfect. So that's that. And then I think that's going to actually pop on here really nicely. And then we can add this to here, and it just pops. It just gives it a little bit of lift behind that flower without, like, making it too busy. All right, so let's do that. And then we'll attach this to here. And then we can pop that on like this. I think I'm going to add a little bit of string here. I've got some twine left here. So I'm going to grab that, and I think I'm going to just wrap this a couple times with the twine, and then we'll tie a little knot or a bow here. Okay. So we did a couple of different techniques with this. We did the negative coloring, right? And then we did the blending, and we did the coloring of the actual focal point, and we did the tri-blending with a few different colors. So lots of ways to kind of think outside of the box with this black and white paper. Like I said, I love a good black and white paper. I just think it's super fun. All right. I might actually do some double popping here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually pop this onto here with some dimensionals right about there. Okay, and none of my dimensionals actually show. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do regular adhesive here, or dimensionals. Love our dimensionals because they're not super, super thick. I'm actually going to put 2 on here, because that one's double popped, so I want it to balance out. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. So this panel's popped and this panel's popped. So in order for me to be able to make that so that it's flat, I needed to... Oh, did I not take these off? Nope, I did not. All right, well, let's do that now. Silly girl. All right, so now I just need to make sure it's straight when I put it down. There we go. And then I've been loving these iridescent pearls with this collection. So I'm just going to put, whoops, I'm out of the big ones. So I'm just going to put maybe, oh, come on, like 3 up here. Oh, I missed the sticky. Hold on. Gotta make sure you get the sticky part. Okay. Well, oh my goodness. This is why I should be using my Take Your Pick tool. I don't really know why I'm not. Just this was in my hand. And then we'll do 1 here and 1 here. There. And there you have it. Super simple, cute little layout, right? What do you think of this black and white paper? Do you like it? Like I said, there's lots of ways you can use it. We did the negative coloring. We did all over blending. This is also negative coloring. This is blending, like tri-blending, so 3 different colors. So that was blending, and then blending with different colors. We did just coloring of the image. And then we just did straight black and white, right? So lots of ways to use this fun paper. And I just love a good black and white paper. So I hope you guys liked this one. I will be back again tomorrow for our next video, the second to last. And I hope you guys have been enjoying these. I'd still love to know, what are your favorites? Go ahead and pop them below. And if you're watching on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe. That really makes my day and helps more people see these videos. So I truly appreciate that. And of course, you can always hit like if you particularly like this one. All right, I will see you again soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.